So one of the questions that I get asked is sort of how does Turo compare to real estate? Because obviously like real estate is seen as like this great investment vehicle, and it is. Like I don't want to discourage anybody from that, but I would definitely encourage them to check out Turo as well. I've been a real estate investor. I am a real estate investor right now, and I've also been a Turo investor, and I am right now. Basically like Turo wins out in my book, right? So from a pure money perspective, right? Depending on the lifestyle that you want to live and how, what kind of responsibilities you want, that could vary. But I think that, in terms of like starting a rental car business on Turo versus, starting a, sort of a real estate business, whether it be through Airbnb or long-term leases, like Turo is the better option, and it's a pure money perspective. So the cost to entry is much lower. In order to get like a real estate property, depending on, the home value or the duplex or condo value, like you need to fork up a lot of cash. So you need to put in like sometimes, $40, $50, $60, $1,000 on a house, that might be worth $300,000, right? So you're already having to sink in like 20% of the value of the home in order to just get started. And that might net you, I don't know, $1,000, $1,500, right? Like that's sort of the optimal case, right? Depending on what you get in terms of the home value and the mortgage. In my case, like what I've pretty much been able to do with my real estate investments is like about $1,000 per month. So let's just round to $1,000 a month, right? And so you need, say, $50K to start, right? $250,000 home. You have to put 20% in for it to qualify as a real estate investment that you're not going to live in. So, okay, $50K, $1,000 output per month, right? With Turo, you don't really need that much money to get started because you can finance a car. So if you finance a car, for example, like for this car, I put in $2,500, right? So that's already multiples lower than you're going to invest into real estate. And this car generates me about $1,000 per month. So, I mean, you just look at the cost to entry, and, this allows, Turo allows for sort of young people to become investors, right? And get equity in an asset that, if you choose the right car, is appreciating or at least maintaining most of its value. So, you fork up the $2,500, you get $1,000 per month after, assuming that there's no, EV credits or anything else that you're getting off of the sort of the ticket price. In 2.5 months, you're already, break even. You could turn around and sell the car at any point. But if you continue to go through, for example, like these cars don't really lose value. So if you make a good investment, my plan is to have this car, pay for itself, and for 4 years generate me $1,000 a month. So 12 months, 4 years, 48 grand in profit, right? And then sort of to go through the process and see, like, should I keep it on the Turo platform or should I just turn around and sell it and get a new one, right? Because these cars don't really depreciate. They go for about like 40 to 45 grand. This will come down in sticker price to probably like 30 grand by the time I'm done, maybe 35 grand, depending on how good of a shape it's in and if I have to do any work to it or whatnot. But I mean, either way, you're putting in $2,500, you're spitting out over the course of 4 years about 48 grand, 45 grand, 50 grand, and then you're turning around and selling it for say 30 grand, right? Being very modest. So $2,500 investment over 4 or 5 years, you're making about 80 grand. That's pretty good, about 40x, right? With a real estate investment, like if you put, fork up the 50K and you get $1,000 per month. So yes, you put in 50K, you make, 48 grand, after those 4 years, turn around and sell the home there. Even if it's appreciated, you're gonna get out that equity, but you're putting so much more money in and your multiple's probably like maybe, I don't know, 2, 3x what you put in. So, and that's assuming that you're in a good market. I feel like starting a rental car business on Turo, so much better than real estate investing.